Hi.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Can you hear me clear?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, it's great. It's great. Okay, how to pronounce your name?
Meshack.
Nesha.
Meshack. M-E, Meshack.
Meshack. Okay, Meshack.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Meshack. My name is Dima. It's easy to pronounce Dima, just Dima. Okay, let's give you the first the subject of our conversation.
Yes.
Um, Actually, I am CEO of fintech startup. We are helping importers. We are helping to buyers to import the goods and to pay Chinese suppliers cheaper and instantly. And we are trying to understand what the biggest problems in this space. And we would like to talk with the expert in this area, the people with the people who relates with imports, who had experience imported some products from China to Nigeria. And if I correctly understand, you have any relatives experience in this field, right?
Uh, yes, directly and partially directly and significantly indirectly by virtue of the work I have been exposed to with my employers.
Okay, the first, can you talk about what exactly experience did you have which relate with the importation?
Currently, I am working for an asset financing company that imports trackers and apparel, but basically uh, equipment that I used alongside tracking equipment, so the tracker itself, and many other things, electrical connections that I use to track the assets that we are selling. Then previously, yes, I've also worked with the importation of trade input, basically used in the manufacturing industry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, how long ago did you import some goods from the China?
We import, where I am currently, we import on a monthly basis. We have a running contract. So we import, like currently we import trackers, but we do so in bulk every 2 to 3 months, depending on geopolitical risks as well and supply chain issues. So post Corona period, we have been requesting in bulk every 3 months so as to try and run away from supply chain disruptions.
Okay, why does your company need to import some equipment, some goods from the China?
Yes, we recently moved our headquarters from Mombasa to Nairobi, and we had to heavily import furniture equipment that were new furniture equipment that were to be used at HQ in Nairobi.
Did you sell this equipment on Nigeria market, or what did you do with this equipment?
We are in Kenya.
Kenya. Okay.
Yes, we are in Kenya. Yes, so we were buying equipment for use, not for sale.
For your own using.
Yes, for our own use at the headquarters.
Why do you need to import so frequently? You mentioned that you need to you imported goods one time per 2 3 months. Why did you import so frequently?
Yes, we import frequently every 2 to 3 months, like I said, mostly trackers and tracking equipment, but also through our stakeholders or trading partners, because these trackers are supposed to be fitted on motorbikes, which as well are majorly for now imported from uh, from China.
Mhm. Okay,
Yes, we have a network of our suppliers who supply us the trade assets, which are the motorbikes. So these ones are also imported from China as well. And we also take an active role in ensuring that we have adequate assets to hold for sale.
Okay, at what position, what was your responsibility in this company? What do you work responsible for?
I do audit.
Come again?
I'm an internal auditor.
Okay, I got your point. Can you say what was the biggest problem which you faced when you tried to import some goods from the China? What was the biggest problem?
One was the geopolitical risks, like I have said, disruption, global supply chain disruptions. Like one was the case for COVID-19, which created a major disruption in our stocks of assets for sale, as well as the trackers which are used to track those assets. So one of the challenges was we could not have continued guarantee of supply of assets for sale, as well as for the tracking assets, as well as the tracking equipment, basically. Then two is issues to do with quality concerns, quality of some of the trackers that we use. Sometimes they are exposed to because of weather issues. So you find either weather issues or network issues. Huh? So some of the trackers come here and they're not compatible, one, to the network service providers that we have, or two, to the terrain that we have, because some of them go offline, so they cannot be able to be used. Neither can we track the assets that we have sold and have trackers fitted on them. Then thirdly are the obvious issues to do now with the payment model, which is currently we have a challenge to pay through an intermediary who is an agent, because we are not on the ground in China. So we have someone who imports, we have a middleman who imports on our behalf. Then we pay the middleman who then pays the supplier across the globe. So one of those challenges we have, therefore, is aligned to that problem is trust issues, because now you're not sure, you're no longer sure about or in charge about guarantees that business will not be interrupted because of shortages in the assets that are supposed to be sold or in the tracking equipment. Two, pricing issues. We are no longer very confident about the prevailing market prices. Sometimes we have to get in touch with the suppliers themselves to have contracts to agree on what are the retailing market prices. But these ones also keep on changing in the context of forex issues. Next, like I've mentioned now, is issues to do with the fluctuations in foreign exchange. The suppliers insist that we pay in USD, and the contracts that we are holding are also in USD. Fluctuations, forex fluctuations, therefore lead to either forex losses in our end or have an inflationary implication on the prices for those tracking equipment. Some of the some of the some of the strategies, therefore, we have engaged is to have futures contracts where we agree in advance as a way of hedging against those forex fluctuations, so that we are not paying expensively or exorbitantly for prices of those assets and for the trackers. So then lastly, but not least, is sometimes we make okay, second last, sometimes we are forced to make bulk payments, advance payments, because the suppliers overseas are no longer sure about the ability to pay, and because we are also ordering in bulk, so they have to request us to make advance payments or deposits with them. So they actually have to sit on our money. So whenever we're making any of such requests for importation, then they will go on deducting monies from what they are already holding that belongs to us. So we have to actually make prepayments, and that eats into a lot of our working capital because we have to pay in advance or make prepayments. Lastly is significant to our end is delay. Sometimes we have delays in payments when we have not synchronized our calendars in Kenya and in China. You send monies because we are paying via we are paying via bank accounts that they have provided us. So you send money, and maybe it is a holiday in China, or it is a weekend in China, and there are delays in bank transfer or bank processing of those payments. So we have to keep on switching from one payment channel or one payment mode to another so as to try and beat those challenges. Lastly, of course, that we faced sometimes last year is the case for cybersecurity. There was an attempt when we were making those online payments to infiltrate our payment channels, and someone was posing like a genuine buyer on the other, a genuine seller rather on the other end. They tried to engage for us to make a payment, but good enough we were able to arrest that cybersecurity risk.
Okay, okay. You mentioned about the problem with fluctuation for forex problem. What did you mean exactly under forex problem? Is it
is the exchange rate, because when we have inflation, global inflation, and the exchange rate of the dollar against the Kenya shilling, as the Kenya shilling weakens and the dollar strengthens, it means what a shilling would buy today, the shilling can no longer buy that same thing tomorrow. For example, these trackers, one goes for around $10, $10 to $20. So if the dollar, and that dollar to Kenya is around 2,000 shillings. So if the dollar strengthens, it means we can no longer pay $20 for the same tracker. We will now have to pay probably $25 for the same tracker, and that translates to maybe around 2,500 to 3,000 Kenya shillings. Buying the same tracker that was being sold at $20 is now $25 by virtue either of strengthening of the dollar or weakening of the local currency.
As well, you mentioned about the fluctuation. What exactly fluctuation cryptocurrency? If I correctly understand, what exactly did you mean?
Fluctuation is basically the increase or decrease in foreign currency. Yes, when the dollar rises, the exchange rate rises or reduces. That is the fluctuation I'm talking about, and how ultimately it affects the prices.
What about sourcing a dollar? Is it hard to source enough amount in dollar in Kenya, or are there any problems with sourcing dollar?
Currently, we have a serious dollar shortage because of the global inflationary pressure that is caused by the war in Ukraine. We, as a country, we don't have enough dollars for importation, because most of the dollars we have currently are used for importing essential commodities like fuel. So the demand for dollars has significantly increased, and the price of fuel as well has increased, because fuel is a major input in the economy. Most of the dollars that are available are prioritized for the importation of fuel. Neither does the country have enough exports to generate as much dollars as the economy requires. So effectively, then you find if most of the dollars have been used for importation of fuel, then it means we have very few dollars for us to use to pay for our suppliers who are insisting on payment in dollars. Plus, that is also a cushion on their end. They're trying to cushion themselves because they don't want us to pay using the local currency, because the stronger the dollar, of course, the better for them, because they'll be making more money. Plus, they will have hedged as well. If the price of the dollar was 20 USD, it will remain 20 USD to them, irrespective of the fluctuation in the dollar. I mean, irrespective of the fluctuation in the local currency. So it will be fixed for them, and they are guaranteed of making their money on their end. Though on our end, the cost of getting those dollars would be higher because of the fluctuations or devaluation, let me say, of the local currency.
Okay, I understand. And let's go back to the importation. You mentioned that you imported one time per 2 months, for example. What was the average amount which you imported to the Kenya?
What do you mean? Come again?
Yeah, what was the average amount? What was the volume of money which you imported to Kenya?
Oh, you're talking about significant, almost four, almost 400 million Kenya shillings.
In dollar?
In dollars, that should be around $2 million. $2 million.
$2 million. How did you source $2 million? Because too big volume. How did
Yes,
you source it?
we have dollar accounts.
Yeah, I understand, but this dollar account you should to top up. For topping up, you should to find some dollar for to deposit on your account.
Now, what we do is we have investors. We have a good number of our investors, the persons who are funding the business, are international investors. So they give us money in dollars, and we maintain dollar accounts for them.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. You mentioned that your company imported goods for $1 million volume.
Yes.
Why did you need to import this volume of goods? What did you do with these goods?
They are the goods. They are the trade assets. One is motorbikes. We sell motorbikes to that is our product. And these motorbikes, yes, and these motorbikes also have they have to be tracked, because they are sold through an asset finance program. Asset finance, basically what I mean is that they are sold on credit. So you have to track the asset and release it to a customer who is selling it, who is buying it on hire purchase. So they will go away with the asset and pay in installments over a duration of up to 24 months. Yes.
Mostly, did you buy motorbikes?
Yes.
And did you?
For every motorbike bought, there will be a tracker bought. So if we buy 100,000 motorbikes, there will be 100,000 trackers that are bought. Trackers, of course, are, like I said, not a single item. Trackers and their accessories. You'll have to be talking about the network SIM cards. That will also the international. It's called the Internet of Things, which is an international SIM card, which allows that tracker to be online or to be visible to our tracking system, even if it crosses our geofence borders, basically the boundaries of Kenya. If the motorbikes go to neighboring countries, we should be able still to track them. So one, I'm talking about the accessories of trackers, is the tracker itself, which is just an electronic. Then we have networking equipment. One of them is an Internet of Things SIM card. And then we have electrical wiring that I use now to wire and fix or install the tracker onto the motorbike.
Why did you buy a motorbike? Did you sell it to the retail buyers, or did you make any marketplace where some people can to rent motorbike? Why did you import these motorbikes? What did you do with these motorbikes?
These motorbikes are sold directly to our customers for use for use either as private motorbikes or for business. In
Okay.
Kenya, they are used for the transport business to carry people.
Okay, understand. Okay, can you please explain how the process of buying motorbike look like? How did you find a producer? How did you pay money? How did you import it? Can you explain the way of buying motorbikes?
Now, what we have is we have stakeholders, let me call them. So they are dealers. Dealers, basically, these are independent businesses. So we have major suppliers, say, for example, TVS. Let me just use one major example of a supplier. And TVS sells as the TVS motorbike from China. So this major supplier has direct connections to the TVS manufacturers in China. So what we have done with this supplier here in Kenya is that we have signed a contract with them, which is basically service level agreements on our nature of business relations with them. So they will import number of motorbikes exclusively for our consumption, which will become the assets that we will sell. It's us based on the prevailing market trends. We will determine how many such assets and therefore how many as well truckers we want to buy from China. So for the case of motorbikes, we will discuss with these major suppliers in Kenya. They will then get in touch with the manufacturers in China and supply the quantities as we have pre-agreed. These motorbikes will then, of course, be shipped to Kenya, to Mombasa, via the port of Mombasa, and then the supplier will get hold of those assets and bring them to their network of dealer shops. So I'm talking about the major supplier. They will import the motorbikes. The motorbikes will be picked at the port of Mombasa, and then they will be redistributed to the dealerships. Dealerships are smaller businesses that are affiliated to this major supplier. Because our business is distributed around the country, so these assets will then as well be distributed depending on a needs basis. They will be distributed across the dealerships to all these other to all these other centers across the country, geographical positions across the country of Kenya. From there now, from the dealership points, which are now our points of sale, we operate from those dealership shops where we sell the assets to the public who walk in. Basically, we deal with walk-in clients.
Okay, you mentioned that you work with the agent intermediary who helped you to import goods, right?
Yes.
Why did you come to the agent? Why didn't you? Why couldn't you go directly to the producer, Chinese producer? Why did you need to agent?
One, because of what I said, issues to do with the. We want one to. We saw it as a. It was not. We wanted to concentrate basically on the core business, which is basically sale of assets. So the business did not deem it necessary to invest our energies in having someone across the globe in China. It would be quite unnecessary for us. Yes. So the business chose to concentrate on the core business, which is sell, and then we engage subject matter specialists to do the shipment.
Okay, this said, what kind of services this agent did provide you?
The agent, one, identifies we tell the agent the type and quantities of tracking equipment we want.
Yes.
Including model. Basically, we give them the specifications of the tracking equipment that we want.
Yes.
And these agents have direct contacts with the manufacturers of those items in China. So they will be our intermediary, discuss on our behalf with the manufacturer, on the specifications and the quantities of trackers that we want, and discuss even the shipping modalities. Because what happens is that when these trackers are then shipped from China, they will discuss all the tax related issues and clearance issues that have to be performed at the port of entry. So the dealer would actually, I mean, the agent would do clearance on our behalf, then us will just go and pick assets and make the payments, including all costs of clearance of the goods at the port of entry. Yes.
Oh, okay. What was the fee of this agent? How much does this agent charge for his services?
I don't know if we have to go that extent because this is business information. Basically, it's a gentleman's agreement on a service charge.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, understand. Okay, I'm trying to understand. You mentioned that you imported several times and one times for each 2 months. Why didn't you start importing directly without agent? Because you bought your motorbikes all the time in one suppliers, I suppose. Yeah, in one producer, I suppose.
No, we have almost 15 different
Uh-huh.
motorbike types. So we buy from different manufacturers. You know, we have different tastes and preferences. So depending on the demand of a specific model of motorbike, that will inform our procurement decision. So across in China, we have as many suppliers, and they sell as many different models of motorbike. Yes.
Okay, got your point. Therefore, you didn't you want to go deep to the detail how to find the right producer, how to ship towards to the Kenya and clearance and etc. Yeah, yeah. Did you want to focus on your core business to selling
Exactly.
motorbikes, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Can you say, please, what was the most inconvenience things, or what was the biggest problem when you work with the agent?
One, of course, is contract performance. We have service level agreements that we have agreed with the agent. So because of business demands, they have to ensure that they perform according to the service level agreement. One of the challenges directly we have seen is delay in supply of the necessary procurements from China. So we have out of stocks.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have out of stocks scenarios of either the truckers or the motorbikes that we want to sell, and that is significant inconvenience on our business because sometimes demand is high and you have no stocks to sell. That is one. Two, on their end is sometimes we have to engage them by nature of them being in direct contact with the supplier to negotiate on to negotiate on the quantities required, because again, being an agent, they also have the suppliers also have many other competing agents as well. So prioritizing some of our procurements also becomes a problem because they are not only serving our interests, they also have other customers. So occasionally you give an order of motorbikes and tracking equipment, and you find the order was not made as and when you required the same items from the supplier across in China. So you find delays in supply because of many other demands by other customers to this agent. Then thirdly is, of course, quality issues. Sometimes the deliveries do not match the specifications that we wanted.
Okay, can you talk about how did you pay to agent? How did you pay eventually? How did you pay to producer? But I know that you pay the first to agent, and agent will pay
Yes,
to
then the
the.
agent will pay the
Yeah,
producer.
can you explain how this payment process look like?
Purely a finance process. What happens is once the once we have received all the goods and services and the import documentations have been cleared, and handed over to us. So we will go to the port of entry, that is Mombasa. We will identify the procurements we made, the goods we had requested to procure. We will inspect at the warehouses or go downs that belong to this agent. Then once we are satisfied, we will generate a goods received note. The supplier will give us an invoice while we issue him with a goods received note. Where there are quality issues or specification issues, we will also issue a goods rejections note and fail to pick the imported items. Then, of course, we will carry the items to our premises, uh, get the invoice, match it with the LPO that we made to directly to the supplier in China. So there will be the LPO, the invoice we have received from the agent, and match it with our goods received note, which is evidence that we have accepted the goods. Then the three documents, the LPO, the GRN, goods received note, and the invoice from the agent will be sent to finance for payment.
Did you pay the agent in Kenya shilling, or did you pay directly in dollar? What cryptocurrency did you pay to the agent?
The agent is paid in USD because he's also paying the same monies in USD to the supplier.
Did you pay agent in dollar?
No, the agent is paid in Kenya shillings. The amounts on the invoice are paid in USD to the supplier.
But pay invoice, but the agent pay invoice in dollar, right? No,
Yes.
not your company. This agent, did this agent convert your Kenya shilling to dollar on his site, right?
Let me make myself clear. The invoice is basically the total amount or total cost of importation.
Yes.
That includes the price of the goods at the port of exit in China. Then all importation costs, duty and taxes that are paid at the port of importation. That is the invoice that is transmitted to us in USD. So we will remit those monies to the agent, to the agent's account, including of course bank charges
In
here.
dollar. In
dollars. Yes, because they are in dollars. Then what is payable then to the which is part of their commission payable is that which we pay now in Kenya shilling, because that is paid directly to their bank account in Kenya.
Okay, how did you sourcing dollar? Did you sourcing it in Kenya, or did you have any foreign bank account, Dubai bank account, something else?
We have foreign accounts, like I started off by saying. We have foreign accounts that we maintain foreign currency, usually from investors who have invested in our business, basically shareholders and lenders. We are heavily geared.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand, it's hard to source in dollar in Kenya. Are there a problem with it?
Yes, currently we have a serious dollar shortage. So yes, you may want to go and make payments in dollars, but you don't have the dollars to make the payment, so you have to wait.
How people?
Or if you get it, you find them at very high foreign exchange rates.
Okay, I do know how people to source in dollar in Kenya. If, for example, if they would like to pay Chinese suppliers in dollar, for example, $100,000 to Chinese suppliers, how can they to source dollar in Kenya market? What do you think?
One is dollars are obtained either at Bureau de Exchange or from major banks. Major banks are the ones who are holding dollars.
Yes.
So And those ones are, of course, controlled by the central bank, who determine who determine the who determine the stocks of foreign currency that's supposed to be held either by the bank itself or by the Bureau de Exchange.
Okay, okay.
Just a minute, I want to put on the lights. It's getting
Yeah,
dark
yeah,
here.
sure, sure.
Maybe slowly, yeah?
Yeah, can you say please, when you gave specification, which bikes, which motorbikes exactly do you need? The appropriate does agent looking for appropriate producer for this specification?
That's a good question.
To repeat question?
Yeah, kindly repeat the
Yeah,
question.
yeah. My question was, when you gave your specification on the bike to the agent, did agent looking for appropriate producer in China for this specification, or did your company find appropriate producer for this specification and then to hand over to the agent?
What we have done is, as a company, we are in charge of the suppliers we have. So what we have done is we have done supplier pre-qualifications. We have screened all the major suppliers. We, of course, through our contacts and through Google search, we have established who are the major suppliers of our trade input. So the company got in direct contact with those manufacturers or producers. Once we established connections with them, we reached contractual arrangements and then forwarded the same to the agent as the person now who will be now will be our intermediary when we are now engaging for business purposes. So yes, we are in charge of our suppliers. It's not the agent who sources for suppliers or producers.
Initially, did you find suppliers or producer on what platform, Alibaba, or did you find directly in Google maybe?
Google directly. We started off small, of course. We started off small. Plus, the major investor is Latvian, so he has enough contacts and connections. So he knew some of the major suppliers from his own interests. Yes.
Did the agent made inspection of test items, test motorbikes which producer made?
Kindly clarify. I didn't understand you.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand when the producer to make the first count of motorbikes. Did the agent to check this first part?
Check the
The
quality
first
issues.
yes.
No, what happens is that in the case of Kenya, we have a regulator, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, who do inspections at the port of entry. So it is not the role of the agent. The Kenya Bureau of Standards will check if there are standardization marks of quality on the documents. They also have a database of those manufacturers across the globe. So they will check, they will do quality inspections before they are allowed into Kenya.
Okay, understand. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your explanation because I asked all questions which I have. Actually, we have a fintech application and I'm ready to offer you USD card for free. And I will share the link in LinkedIn, and I will be pleasure if you will give after that. After you using our application, if you will give feedback, it will be pleasure for us.
Thanks. Probably you can shed light. What is the product of the business, and where would be the geographical locations of the business? Do you want to go global, or you will be an online fintech?
Yeah, just now online fintech, yeah, fintech, and we are focusing on Nigeria at the moment. Maybe we will make any expansion to other African countries, and yeah, but now we are focusing on Nigeria market.
Ah, that's nice.
Okay, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.